I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Just hours before Donald Trump was getting ready to surrender to the Fulton County Sheriff's Department to get booked, to get weighed, to have his mugshot taken, the chaos that we are used to seeing in Donald Trump's orbit, of course, took place where we learned that Donald Trump's lawyer, Drew Findling, who refers to himself as the billion-dollar lawyer, he's known for representing hip hop artists and rappers like Cardi B and others. He's able to get along with them, but apparently not able to get along with Donald Trump because he's out. And whether he was fired, whether he quit, we're hearing conflicting stories, but in Trump's orbit, that's always chaos taking place. But Findling is gone. There is now a new lawyer on Trump's legal team who just entered a notice of appearance. There's the notice of appearance right there. Stephen Sado. Stephen Sado also put out a statement. I'm the new lawyer. Donald Trump's innocent. Political opponents, persecution, blah, 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 blah. All of the normal crap that we are used to. Now, we're not really sure yet. Did Donald Trump fire Drew Findling? Did Findling resign? But there's a number of theories that I think any one of them can be correct. Let's start with Occam's razor, the most obvious one. Donald Trump doesn't pay people. And as you approach the surrender date, I know of Drew Findling by reputation. I'm surprised he took this case because, Findling is known as a pretty good person, pretty good lawyer. The billion-dollar lawyer shtick is a little bit over the top and a little kind of cheesy, but that's his thing, whatever. But I was surprised he took this case. As we know, MAGA stands for make attorneys, get attorneys, and Findling's a smart guy. So surprised me. So one, Findling didn't get paid. Number two, Findling could have quit because Donald Trump has repeatedly violated, in my opinion, the consent order, the consent bond order that Findling negotiated on Trump's behalf with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. We've been covering here Donald Trump's posts on his social media platform where he's been threatening and attacking witnesses like former Vice President Pence, attacking the city of Atlanta and saying false and disparaging things about Atlanta, attacking Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. All of those, in my view, would be violations of the strict prohibitions in the consent bond order that Donald Trump shall not directly or indirectly through social media posts or reposts attack or intimidate witnesses, the community, co-defendants. And to me, that was all a form of direct or, at the very least, in my view, indirect witness intimidation. And so, Drew Findling has to go before these judges very frequently. He doesn't just represent Donald Trump. And so having somebody who violates consent orders that Findling negotiated could have just been enough for Findling, and he could have just said, I'm out. It's also possible that Trump was really upset about this consent order, and he was whining about it on social media. Oh, they're making me pay a $200,000 bond and I have to show up. And it's like, that's what your lawyer, you could have objected to it. Like, that was a consent bond order. And as the name implies, consent is that your lawyers agreed to these terms. So Donald Trump could have also thought, hey, look at Mark Meadows' lawyer. They're filing all of these documents. Look at Mark Meadows filing this removal and this motion to dismiss. And my lawyers, they just agreed to this consent order that I don't even like. This guy's not, I need a more powerful lawyer. You could see Trump thinking that way, and then he could have fired Findling. I probably think it's the first that Trump is not paying Findling. Also, Findling's got a bit of an ego about him as well. Findling's the kind of person who, again, I know Findling through his reputation and through other lawyers, Findling would tell a client, hey, you got to be quiet. Stop doing this. This is not how you should be acting right now. I'm not going to represent you if you do this. That's the kind of guy Findling is. And again, that's why I was shocked that Findling even took this representation in the first place. And Donald Trump demands total and absolute obsequiousness, obedience. If you're a lawyer for Trump, you got to be super weird MAGA cult at this point, and you got to be willing to go on TV and make a fool out of yourself and completely destroy your reputation and potentially yourself become criminally indicted in service of Donald Trump, like Giuliani and Eastman and Sidney Powell and others. And it's just, when I saw Findling doing these, appearances, I get that Findling has been adverse to Fani Willis in a lot of the hip hop RICO cases that she's prosecuted, and he goes against her office. They're adverse on a lot of things. So maybe it's that competitive spirit, or maybe it's his, he wanted the attention, but he's out. And it's been fairly humiliating. I think he'll realize this. Like, he'll probably look back at it. And if you were to ask him privately, he'd be like, yeah, that was a really screwed up move that I made. Because it was just embarrassing to see. It's like, here, this is Drew Findling on Ari Melber. I'll show you 2 clips. And it's like, he looked like he didn't want to be there. Here, play this clip.
Georgia, if you request or attempt to cause another person to engage in voter fraud, that's criminal solicitation. If you conspire or agree with another to commit a violation, that is another Georgia statute. Those are both felonies. Those are just 2, and there are, as you know, others.
I could tell you we're incredibly familiar with those statutes. They aren't new to us. We do a lot of political cases.
Sure.
We are absolutely confident, having looked at the evidence, that our client has not violated any of those.
Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump lost Georgia and people telling the government they were the duly elected electors were lying?
Yeah, so Ari, I am not going to start getting into political statements.
You could see even Findling there, just like Findling's the kind of guy. By the way, I wouldn't be shocked if Findling voted for Biden. I don't think Findling's a Trump guy. Again, by reputation and by people I know who know Findling. So he's got to sit there and ask questions like that. And look, I don't feel bad for him. I mean, he invited this when he did it.
Let's stop cutting down trees to make toilet paper. Now, it's true, humans are cutting down tens of thousands of trees every day just to supply the American need for toilet paper. And the worst part is that when we use trees for toilet paper, it's just one use and done. It obviously can't be recycled or reused, so it just goes straight into our water system. That's why I made the switch to real paper. Real is 100% bamboo, so we're using a plant that grows fast, can be harvested and regenerated, think like the grass in your lawn, and doesn't impact the entire ecosystems of forests. Real is the best kind of eco-friendly product because it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing something to help the earth. In fact, it feels like an upgrade. It's shipped free to my door in plastic-free packaging, and I could schedule it on a subscription so that it comes exactly when I need it. My favorite thing about Real, without getting too personal, is that it's super comfortable in those sensitive areas. Real paper is available in easy, hassle-free subscriptions or for one-time purchases on their website. All orders are conveniently delivered to your door with free shipping in 100% recyclable plastic-free packaging. If you head to realpaper.com/Meidas and sign up for a subscription using my code Meidas at checkout, you'll automatically get 30% off your first order and free shipping. That's realpaper.com/Meidas or enter our promo code Meidas to get 30% off your first order plus free shipping. Let's make a change for good this year and switch to Real Paper. Real is a paper for the planet.
Here's another one from that interview with Ari Melber. Play this.
You acknowledge that Donald Trump lost the Georgia election?
I am.
That's an easy one. Do you acknowledge that, attorney? Drew?
No, I'm focused. Let me tell you what I'm focused on. I'm focused on being a criminal defense attorney and seeing that my client is being swept up in what has, to me, been a ridiculous circus atmosphere, special purpose grand jury.
No, and
which has
you
an
made that
impact,
point, but
not only in this case, but on other cases.
You
That's
made
my
that point,
focus,
but do you
Ari. I'm not
acknowledge
going to sit there.
Do you acknowledge?
But
Well,
Ari,
do you acknowledge that he lost
Ari,
the
you
state
can talk
of Georgia?
to other political people. Why would we even talk about that?
Because you're on a political show. Because you're on a political show on MSNBC. And if you are going to try to spin whatever it is you want to spin for Donald Trump, and one of the foundational elements in your criminal defense is, I suppose you're going to say that Donald Trump didn't have the intent to commit the crime. Yes, it is a valid question to ask the lawyer representing him what the view is on the central question. And one of the central questions, which is that Donald Trump perpetrated this entire criminal enterprise scheme to overthrow the results of an unquestionably free and fair election. And I stress, unquestionably so, Findling, when you get asked a question, and unquestionably the answer is, by everybody credible in Georgia, from the governor to the secretary of state to the lieutenant governor, that it was a free and fair election, that the results were accurate, and then you're out there trying to spin some other crap but not answer the basic question, then you lose all credibility. And you shouldn't even go on the show to begin with. You know you're going to be asked that question, and if you're not prepared for that question, then don't go on the show. I'll leave you with this one here. This is Findling in February of 2023 on Face the Nation. Watch what he said here.
What are your options?
Are the results of that special purpose grand jury to be crumbled up like a piece of paper and thrown into a waste paper basket? Our options are, can this district attorney's office continue to be part of this case? We have to legally research all of those issues.
Have you lost confidence in the district attorney?
We've lost 100% confidence in this process. We feel this process has been compromised.
Well, the question isn't, should the district attorney be part of the case? The real elemental question is, should you be part of this case? And the answer is, you, sir, are no longer part of this case. I do, by reputation, know you to be actually an honorable and decent lawyer and person, but you getting embroiled in all of this Trump mess, you should have known this was going to happen to you. I'm Ben Meiselas. Check out MeidasTouch.com for all the breaking news and everything MeidasTouch. Check it out, MeidasTouch.com. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Thank you so much, and check out MeidasTouch.com.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.